Hi and welcome. Today I want to speak to you about the pyramids. I want to speak of what's going on with the pyramids, what Gaia is speaking about in terms of their activations, what will happen with them and when, and some of my personal experiences with the pyramid, or with the pyramids I should say. So I'm a messenger for Gaia and I bring through transmissions from her, and recently she told me on the 22nd of September that the pyramids in our world were beginning to be activated. And when I asked her how that looked and what that was about, she spoke about them being energy portals. She spoke about them having an energetic impact on the world, and that they will connect up. So each of the pyramids around the world, she's speaking about the ones that are above ground and below ground, some that we know, some that we don't yet know about, that this current time being reactivated to come back to their full power of what they were in an ancient time. And what she showed me about them is that they will connect up both internally in the planet and externally around the planet, and they create this force field, this vibrational field that holds the earth in higher frequency. Now she has said that this will not happen until the dark has left the planet, so that they cannot be manipulated. What's going to happen, this force field will be exceptionally powerful. So when I looked at that from the external of the earth imagery, I was shown this imagery of our new earth and the vibration. You can hear the vibration, you can hear the resonance that's coming from the internal of the earth. And the external field of the earth is glowing, pulsing, golden light, and it has so much this feeling of expansion in the heart. So that's where we're heading to. So that's our new fifth dimensional world. That's how it will look from off planet, if you get to go off planet and see things from that perspective. And on the internal, what I got shown with it is that it would create this sacred geometry internally of the planet, and how that looked and what I was guided to draw is it's as though there's this round plate, and from that round plate there are all these radiating lines, but they don't begin there, they begin at the points of each of the pyramids, and each of those pyramids they interconnect across and through to one another, and they create 32 pointed stars, and it's a sacred geometric shape that sit on top of one another, but they kind of intersect through this plate. And so it is as though internally those frequencies connecting up hold the planet in this higher vibration and higher frequency. You know, it's less dense, so it's holding it from the inside, and then it's creating a force field around the outside as well. So I'm not sure when that will be fully activated, but you know, she always speaks about those kind of things, those events, those activations, those tipping points as being not related to dates and constellations so much, although certainly they have an impact and bearing on it, but on the level of consciousness of humanity on the planet. So you know, it's so we have to reach a vibratory level of frequency and consciousness to tip into these next things. So she's always kind of spoken of the event as being an individual thing. So I think I'm going to make another video about the event sonic boom solar flash and tell you a little bit more about that. I'm having a bit of a video day trying to catch up on them. A whole lot of things that I haven't managed to get out to you. So back to the pyramids. So I want to tell you that when I began exploring past lives, I got shown lots of things, and I was going to a healer at some point, quite a long time ago now. I can't remember the date. and I'm less able to remember dates. I'm less attached to the time grid, I think, now that I'm, often working in this beautiful higher frequency Gaia. But I got told that Spirit was telling this healer to tell me that you need to go and meditate on the pyramids. And I had not been to Egypt at that point and didn't know a lot about them from this lifetime. Anyway, I did that and I went back and I said to him, yep, I meditated on the pyramids, and I don't know where the doorways or the entranceways are on the pyramid of Giza, but it seemed like we went in halfway up and along a corridor and we were inside the pyramid. And, I could see that I was guarded both sides, but it was protection, wasn't holding me in any way. But I got the impression I had some kind of status there. Anyway, she said, yes, that's right, go back, do more, there's more to come. So I unfolded this with a series of meditations and was shown that I was, and this is how I believe that we come in incarnation and recognition of beings that have been on the earth, is that we come in various soul fragments. So we might just have one little section of us, our higher aspect, in a soul, or we might have more than that. And so that's how I don't get caught up with who I was, and can really begin to sort of look for more of the interesting things and the lessons around it, rather than the personality aspect of who I've been or who I've been an aspect of. But I got shown that I was an aspect of the soul of King Khufu, and at that point I did not realise that the pyramid of Cheops, the Grand Pyramid, the Great Pyramid, was named anything other than the Pyramid of Cheops. And so I got more information, and eventually I did some research about it and discovered that Khufu was the king that the large Giza Pyramid of Cheops was supposedly built for. So I went back and did a variety of kind of travels into the pyramid, discovered that there were lots of hidden chambers. I attended a meeting there one night where there was a big oval table and an oval ring looking a bit like an oval fluorescent tube that lit up violet and was divided into components, and that was how it could be seen if everyone had arrived at the meeting. So when I sat down at the table in my designated space or chair, the bar in front of me lit up this sort of bluey violet colour, and as other beings arrived, ultimately the entire oval ring was lit up. And so I only had a sense of knowing that there were beings from all over the planet there, and there was a sort of purple dragon that actually looked a little bit like Barney from Sesame Street. Very sort of curvaceous and soft, if you like, who sat next to me, but it was on my left, and I didn't see any of the other beings there, and I didn't find out any more information about that. But I think that was just to show me that it was an interdimensional portal and that there were meetings that were held. Another time I got shown, so back to the King Khufu thing, I knew that my queen was standing beside me. I could see her, and I knew that in that marriage there was a lot of love. I could feel that love. I could see the accoutrements of an Egyptian king. When I researched those, that's what I had seen that I was wearing, and I was in the space that I got to by basically moving through a portal and a floor higher up in the pyramid. So there was that experience, and I got shown another time that my son, as King Khufu, had been murdered. I knew that he had been murdered by off-planet beings, and I knew I had the capability of reviving him back to life, but that the laws of the land were that I was not able to do that. So as his father, I felt the frustration and anger that he had for that. And so, that was another thing that I was able to research, that there was some semblance of truth around that in that lifetime. So anyway, so that's just a past life thing that I saw in relation to those pyramids. So when I physically went there on a spiritual journey, I had some other interesting things happen. First of all, the day that I arrived in Cairo and then went to Giza, I went for a walk up part of the slope, stood in front of the Sphinx, and as I was standing in front of the Sphinx, I actually started to feel really sick. And even though we'd had a really long journey there from New Zealand to Cairo, I felt great. And then as soon as I stood there, and apparently I changed colour and I felt nauseous, and I knew I needed to find a toilet actually. And so I said to Abdul, who was one of the Egyptian guys who was working with us as a guide, I really need to find a bathroom. And so he arranged for that to happen. And huge kind of evacuation really on the toilet. And then afterwards he said to me, I'm not letting you, so we went to the second pyramid. He said, I'm not letting you go in there, you just need to stay here and sit with me, and we'll just let the others go in. And I actually was very sick for about 2 days and did some release work, and Helen Barnes, who was the spiritual guide, she took us there. She takes amazing spiritual journeys. She did some work on me, but it was a really tough time. Anyway, so we got to do lots of things around there, and when we went into the internal of the Pyramid of Giza, so first of all we were leaning up against the wall, and as I was leaning up I felt that energetically I was actually leaning through the wall. I was being kind of sucked into the pyramid, and so I sat up and I thought, I'll take my backpack off and see if that makes a difference, but no, it didn't. My energy just wanted to fall through the wall into the pyramid, or was being pulled in somehow. I don't have any understanding of what that's about, and it was just my experience. Anyway, we went into the King's Chamber, and I have to say, it's a pretty amazing journey. It's a pretty incredible piece of architecture and design and building and structure when you go into it. But and the King's Chamber even more so, the way that the granite is laid, it's incredibly precise. But I thought, well, I'm going to be interested to see how I feel being in that chamber, and I had to tell you that I felt really very zen in there. I didn't have any kind of phenomenal experience, or I was just feeling very at peace in the air and very calm. I'd been given a job to lay in the energetic template for the Earth Star crystalline Earth Star for the planet, and so I did that as part of my work in there, and even got to lie in the sarcophagus. Hopefully we won't get into trouble about that. And for me as well, that was just a very zen experience. So we left there after a while, did some beautiful sounding in there, and then I wasn't going to go into the Queen's Chamber, but something guided me to. And as soon as I walked into the Queen's Chamber, I just broke down. I was just a sobbing, weeping, heaving mess. And one of the women who I was travelling with, she just took me in her arms and just let me just sob and heave and cry. It was this huge emotional release in being in there. And, so that was another interesting experience. I think that's probably all to share, or all that I can think of to share at the moment. But yeah, we're moving into times where we will get to witness this reactivation of these incredible power vortices, really, these power chambers, and we'll find out more. About how and what they're used for. But my understanding is that they are power centers, they're energy vortexes, they are interdimensional portals, and I'm sure that we will find out more. But that's as much as I know now. So I just wanted to let you see that from my kind of personal experience of that. So these are the notes that I wrote about the pyramids when I was in kind of communication with Gaia about it. The pyramids create inner and surrounding frequencies, hums, sound and fields and light. They activate power systems and grid lines within the earth which connect up and create magnetic force fields to hold a higher frequency and vibration for the planet. The resonance created internally by these fully powered connection portals enable the earth to pulse and vibrate to hold the field to a higher and finer frequency, enabling all to coexist in this vibratory dimension of space. Sentient beings will be lighter in both density and weight, as well as lit up from within. From these, signals will be emitted to the multiverse. The earth has begun its new era, its new way of being. The universe celebrates the hum, the song, the note of earth, the note of Gaia, celebrated on the airwaves. The resonant sound of Gaia in her new, or returning to the old, form, sounding out again as the golden planet she once was. Life species shining and radiant. The planet, animals, humans, life, all the universal living library that Earth was created to be. And she was once before, is returning. Crystalline structures re-established through all species and stratas as we each move through ongoing alchemization into liquid light. And as we do, one of the things that Gaia spoke about is that we will have this time where it is very much similar to the Aurea Borealis being in our skies day and night. So that's something to look forward to. So I'm going to leave that here. So see you again next time. Much love from me, from my heart and from the heart of Gaia. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe. I also offer one-on-one sessions in energy healing and Akashic readings. And for those of you seeking clarity of life purpose and direction, the instructions to book a session are below. Infinite blessings and much love to you.